Hi, so we're going to delete SSH inbound port rule in the NSG, that's the network security group of the network interface card of the virtual machine. And we're going to test to see that once we remove the inbound SSH allow port rule, that we won't be able to connect through SSH to the virtual machine anymore. And we're going to then create a new SSH inbound port rule to reconnect back to the virtual machine. So let's see how that is done. So we're back on the Azure portal, and I want to go to virtual machines, and here we have the virtual machine we created, and we'll need to go to networking, which is here. And from this we can see network security group, which includes the inbound port rules, outbound port rules, and application security group and load balancing. And in this case we have the inbound port rules with the first of priority 300 permitting SSH at port 22 to from any source to any destination, and here is the action is allowed. So we're going to delete this, but before we delete it, let's ensure that we have connection still. So we're going to go back and confirm the IP address, copy, and we'll use our command prompt, and we'll say SSH, then the username Azure admin, then we'll say we paste the IP address, and we'll put in our password, and now we are connected. So it means that SSH connection is working from my laptop or system to the virtual machine in the Azure cloud. Exit. Then I'm going to delete the inbound port rule, and we can see that the network security group is attached to our network interface card, which is the NIC of the virtual machine. So let's go on to delete, and it says, do you want to delete the security rule SSH? Say yes, and it's currently deleting SSH, so we'll give it a moment. And now it says successfully deleted security rule SSH. So if we refresh this, and we can see that SSH is completely gone. So let's go back to the command prompt and see if we can connect, and we press enter, and we notice that it's not giving us access to put in our password, and you can see here it says connection timed out. So let's go back and replace the rule so that we can have access to the virtual machine in the Azure cloud. So to do that, we just click on add inbound port rule, and we want source any, this is fine, destination any, and service we can choose our SSH. So by default port number 22, and it's TCP. The action is allow, and our priority we can make it 200, and the name would make it SSH traffic inbound, and we can put the same description as the name, and we'll add that rule. So it will take some time to create the security rule, and now it says we've successfully created the rule, and we'll refresh this page, and now we've refreshed, we can see it says allow SSH traffic inbound created. and everything is fine. Allow. So we'll go back to our command prompt to ensure that we can now connect back to the virtual machine through SSH. And now it requests for the password. It didn't time out, so put in the password, and we can see we are connected back to the virtual machine. So let me ping Google, and we can see our connection is working. So we have successfully been able to show how the inbound security rule for the NSG controls traffic to connect to the virtual machine, and we replaced the rule, and we were now able to connect back to the virtual machine.